You're fading. Not the kind of fading where you get sick and end up in a hospital. No, this is the silent kind, the slow kind, the kind nobody talks about because it doesn't leave a mark. It just leaves an empty shell walking around pretending everything is fine. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. You felt it this morning, that dead weight in your chest when the alarm went off. That split second right before your eyes opened where your brain whispered, "Not again." And you hit snooze. Not because your body needed sleep. You hit snooze because your life lacked a reason to wake up. Because you had nothing pulling you out of that bed. Nothing that made you throw the covers off and say, "Let's go." You just existed into another Tuesday. Here is what is truly terrifying about that feeling. You have been doing it for months, maybe years, and you have gotten so used to it that you don't even register the weight anymore. It has just become your life. That dull, heavy, going through the motions routine you drag yourself through between Monday and Friday, then the weekend comes, and what do? You numb yourself. You drown out the silence with noise, scrolling, binge watching, sleeping until noon. You call that rest, but we both know it isn't rest. It's hiding. I need to tell you something before we go a single step further, and I need you to really hear this. Do not skim past this. Do not half listen while you do something else. Let this land. There is a version of you right now in this exact second that is screaming, not out loud, internally. A version of you that remembers what it felt like to have fire, to have ambition, to look at the future and feel a rush of adrenaline instead of a wave of anxiety. That version of you isn't dead, but it is suffocating. It is suffocating slowly under the crushing weight of all the things you keep promising yourself you will fix tomorrow. In a few minutes, I am going to show you the exact system that fixes this. But first, you need to understand the poison you are drinking. I am not going to give you vague, feel-good advice. I am not going to tell you to just believe in yourself. That sounds nice on a poster, but it means absolutely nothing when your life feels like it is slipping through your fingers. I am going to show you 10 specific things, 10 daily choices that are either building you into a weapon or quietly destroying you. Most people are letting all 10 of them rot, but here is the truth that is going to hit you the hardest. It isn't one massive failure that is ruining your life. It isn't a dramatic catastrophe. It isn't a single terrible decision that ruined everything. It is something far more dangerous. It is the accumulation of tiny neglects, day after day after day, the small things you skip, the little disciplines you ignore, the quiet promises you break to yourself every single morning. You tell yourself the lie, the same lie you told yesterday and the day before that. You say, "I'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow is the most dangerous word in the English language because tomorrow never comes. It just keeps pushing the finish line further away. Always one day out of reach. Always waiting on the other side of when you feel ready, or when things calm down, or when you have more time. And do you know what happens while you are waiting for tomorrow? Today passes, and it takes a piece of your soul with it. A piece you never get back. By the end of this, you are going to understand the one thing that separates the people who wake up at 40 with massive regret from the people who wake up at 40 with massive results. It is so simple, it will make you angry, because you will realize the answer was sitting right in front of you the entire time. You just refused to look at it. But we will get to the 10 things. First, I need to hold up a mirror. I need to show you something about yourself that you have been refusing to look at. Let me describe your life right now, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. Tell me if I am wrong. You wake up tired every single day, not because you did not sleep enough. You probably slept too much. You are tired because nothing is pulling you forward. There is no magnet in your future, no vision that makes you want to get out of bed with absolute urgency. So your body does what any human body does when it has no direction. It shuts down. It conserves energy. It says, why bother? You check your phone before your feet even hit the floor. You scroll through other people's highlight reels, their vacations, their promotions, their perfect little lives, and something inside you tightens. You don't even notice it consciously anymore, but it is there. That tiny knife twist in your gut that says, why not me? Let me tell you what is really happening to you. And I am not saying this to be cruel. I am saying it because someone needs to tell you the truth. and nobody else in your life has the guts to do it. You are not lazy. Read that again. Hear me on that. You are not lazy. I know that is what you have been telling yourself. I know that is the label you have stuck on your chest, like some kind of name tag at a conference. Hi, I'm lazy. But that is not what is going on here. Lazy people do not feel guilty. Lazy people do not lie awake at 2 a.m. staring at the dark ceiling, replaying all the things they should have done. Lazy people do not feel a sick pit in their stomach when they see someone their age doing better than them. You feel all of that every single day, which means you are not lazy, you are stuck. You are paralyzed. You are standing at the edge of your own massive potential, and you cannot figure out how to take the first step. You have convinced yourself that the gap between where you are and where you want to be is just too wide, so you don't move. You don't even try, and the longer you stay still, the wider that gap gets. The wider it gets, the more impossible it feels, and the more impossible it feels, the more you numb yourself, the more you distract yourself, the more you scroll and binge and sleep. You pretend that you are just taking it easy, but really, you are just giving up in slow motion. You know what actually breaks my heart about this? You have people around you, friends, family, maybe a partner. They look at you and they see someone who is fine. Maybe a little less enthusiastic than you used to be, but fine. You have gotten so good at performing fine that you could win an award for it. You smile when you are supposed to smile. You laugh when you are supposed to laugh. You say, "I'm good," when someone asks how you are doing, and you say it so convincingly that they believe you, but you are not good. You haven't been good in a long time. And the absolute worst part is that you are starting to forget what good even feels like. You are starting to think that this heaviness is just who you are now. That the fire you once had was just a phase. That the ambition was just youthful stupidity. That is when it gets truly dangerous. Because once you accept mediocrity as your actual identity, once you make peace with a life that is vastly smaller than the one you were designed for, that is when something inside you actually dies. Not next year, right now. You want to know the hardest truth to swallow? There is no villain in your story. Nobody did this to you. No one held you down. No one stole your fire. You let it go. One skipped workout at a time. One unread book at a time. One "I'll do it later" at a time. One Sunday night I spent dreading Monday instead of preparing for it. One hard conversation you avoided because it was just easier to stay silent. One boundary you didn't set because confrontation made you uncomfortable. One truth you refused to tell yourself because the lie was softer. All of those tiny surrenders added up. They compounded like interest on a massive debt you completely forgot you had, and now you are drowning in it. And you don't even know how you got here. So what do? You panic. You look at the mess of your life, you feel that sudden burst of guilt, and you decide you need to fix it all. Right now, you plan the massive comeback, the dramatic reinvention. You tell yourself you are going to wake up at 4 a.m., run 10 miles, read a book a day, and completely change your entire existence overnight. But those big, sweeping changes almost never work. Do you know why? Because they are built entirely on motivation. And motivation is a pathological liar. Motivation hypes you up on Sunday night when you are lying in a warm bed. It makes you feel like an unstoppable conqueror. It writes checks your discipline cannot cash. Motivation shows up full of energy and grand promises. But by Wednesday afternoon, it is gone. It vanishes. It leaves you completely alone with the exact same old habits and the exact same old excuses. Let me ask you something, and I want you to be brutally, uncomfortably honest. When was the last time you improved? Not just showed up, not just survived another day. When was the last time you went to sleep knowing with absolute certainty that you were slightly better than you were when you woke up? When was the last time you could look in the mirror and say, "I gave today everything I had"? Not "I was busy today." Busy is not the same thing as better. You can be incredibly busy for 14 straight hours and not move a single inch forward. You can answer emails, attend useless meetings, run errands, and collapse into bed totally exhausted, and still be the exact same person you were when you woke up. That is not progress. That is a hamster wheel with a paycheck. If you cannot remember the last time you truly improved, that is your answer. That is the diagnosis. That right there is the disease that is quietly eating you alive. Not a lack of talent, not bad luck. Neglect. The slow, silent, painless neglect of everything that actually matters. You stop demanding more from yourself. And when a human being stops growing, they start dying. The real tragedy is that you don't even notice it happening because it doesn't physically hurt. Missing one workout doesn't hurt. Skipping one day of reading doesn't hurt. But string enough of those painless days together and you wake up unrecognizable to yourself. You are about to see exactly how deep this goes. Let me tell you about a man who understood this perfectly. He was 25 years old, smart, capable. Everyone told him he had massive potential. His teachers told him, his parents told him, his friends told him, and for a while he actually believed them. He had big plans, he had that fire in his eyes. You know the exact look I am talking about. That look that says, just watch me. But then life happened. No dramatic tragedy, no massive catastrophe, just life. A job that paid his bills but completely starved his soul. A routine that was perfectly comfortable but never ever challenging. Friends who were fun but not driven. And slowly, so slowly, he didn't even notice the fire simply went out. At 25, he was going to change the world. At 28, he was going to start next year. At 30, he stopped talking about it altogether. At 35, he couldn't even remember what the original dream was. And the most terrifying part, nobody noticed. Not his coworkers, not his friends, because on the outside, nothing changed. He still went to work, he still paid his bills, he still smiled and said, I'm fine, but he was a ghost. He was haunting a body that used to belong to someone with ambition. Then, one random Tuesday at 2 a.m., he woke up staring at the dark ceiling, and it hit him like a physical blow. He sat up in bed, his heart pounding in his chest. He realized he had not improved a single thing about himself in over a decade. Not his mind, not his body, not his skills, not his relationships, not his discipline. He had been running on the exact same version of himself for 10 years. His mind was duller, his confidence was gone, eroded by 1,000 days of doing absolutely nothing about it. 10 years gone, not because a disaster happened, because nothing happened at all. I want you to sit with that for a second. Let the weight of that crush you, because that man is not some rare exception. That man is the rule. That man is most people. How many years have you let slide? How many days have passed where you did not sharpen a single skill, where you did not challenge a single thought, where you just floated? Here is the secret that changed everything for him lying in the dark. And it is the same secret that is about to change everything for you. The gap between who you are and who you want to be is not a canyon. You have built it up in your head to look impossible. But it is just a crack in the sidewalk. You can step over it today. It is not about making a massive overhaul. It is the decision to be 1% better today than you were yesterday. Just 1%. I know what you are thinking. That sounds pathetic. My life is a complete mess, and you are telling me 1% is going to fix it? Yes, I am. Because you don't understand compound interest for the human soul. 1% better every single day for a year makes you 37 times better. 37 times. That is real math. That is what happens when small disciplines stack on top of each other. But here is the terrifying flip side, the trap of the comfortable life. 1% worse every day, 1% more neglect, 1% more complacency. By the end of the year, you erode yourself down to zero. You grind yourself into dust. And you don't even feel it happening because each individual day felt harmless. But those days are not harmless. They are either building you or breaking you. There is no neutral. You are either getting better or you are getting worse. In a moment, I am going to reveal the first half of the 10 specific things you are actively neglecting. The load-bearing walls of your life that are quietly rotting away. You can improve the wrong things and still end up totally empty. You can get better at your job and still hate your life. You can read 100 books and still be the exact same person if you are reading the wrong ones. There are 10 things, 10 specific load-bearing walls. Pull one out and eventually the whole house collapses. Let me show you the first 5. Number 1 is your attitude. And listen to me carefully. I am not telling you to think positive. Throw think positive in the trash. That is bumper sticker garbage. Your attitude is not how you feel, it is how you see. It is the lens you use to interpret failure. Two people can lose their jobs on the exact same day. One is destroyed, the other uses it as fuel. Same event, different lenses. Attitude is a muscle. If you do not actively flex it every single day, it defaults to negativity, because negativity is completely effortless. Complaining requires zero skill. Catch yourself tomorrow. Notice when your default is a complaint and consciously force a different response. That is a rep. Number 2 is communication. Most people think communication is a talent. You either have it or you don't. Dead wrong. It is a daily practice, and when you neglect it, it bleeds into everything. It shows up in the arguments that never needed to happen, in the meetings where you had the answer but choked on the words, in the friendships that faded because nobody said anything real. Every day you do not practice saying exactly what you mean, calmly and clearly. You are silently eroding the relationships that matter most. Stop throwing your words like grenades. Practice the discipline of choosing your words like they cost you money. Number 3 is self-discipline. Let me kill a myth right now. Discipline is not willpower. Willpower is a battery. It drains, it dies. You cannot build a human life on a battery. Self-discipline is architecture. It is building boring, repeatable systems that remove the need for willpower entirely. It is setting your gym clothes out the night before so your tired brain does not get a vote at 5 a.m. It is putting your phone in another room at 9 p.m. so the temptation is physically gone. These are not heroic acts. Nobody is going to clap for you. But stacked over months, they make you unbreakable. Number 4 is your mind, the actual quality of your thoughts. Your mind has a default setting. And unless you consciously override that default every single day, it will run the exact same program forever. The same fears, the same pathetic excuses you have been using since you were 15. I am not smart enough. It is too late for me. Those are not facts. They are just old code. You rewrite them through daily repetition. When the old story starts playing, you cut it off. You say out loud, that is the old version of me. Number 5 is time. And I do not mean time management, I mean time respect. You cannot manage time. It moves whether you manage it or not. What you can manage is your attention. And your attention is being robbed every single day by screens that will never give you your life back. Think about your last week. How many hours vanished into the void of endless scrolling? Every hour you spend consuming trash is an hour you did not spend building your future. You get 86,400 seconds a day. At midnight, the balance goes to 0. These first 5 are the engine. But the engine is just the start. The final 5 are what separate the people who talk about success from the people who actually take it. Number 6 is knowledge. And let's be perfectly clear, I am not talking about what happened to you in school. Forget degrees. Forget certifications. I am talking about the deliberate, relentless daily practice of learning. Your mind needs input the way your lungs need air. If you stopped eating for a week, you would notice your body would break down. But your mind goes months, sometimes years, without a single piece of challenging new information, and you don't even notice. You just get stale. Your conversations get lazy. Your solutions are a decade old, and you write it off as just getting older. No, you simply stop feeding the machine. The person who reads 10 pages a day reads roughly 15 books a year. The person who doesn't stays exactly where they are. Same ceiling, same stagnant life. Read, not because it's a fun hobby, but because the world is moving too fast for you to stand still. Number 7 is your personal image. I don't mean vanity. I don't mean what brand of clothes you wear. Your personal image is the story you tell yourself when you look in the mirror. It is how you carry your body. It is the energy you bring into a quiet room. It is the standard you hold yourself to when nobody is watching. Did you show up 5 minutes early or 2 minutes late? Did you look that person dead in the eye when you spoke? These details seem insignificant, but they are violent signals to your subconscious. Every time you let yourself slide on the small details, you are telling yourself, I am not worth the effort, and your subconscious always listens. Stop dressing and walking like someone who has already given up. Number 8 is character. Let me draw a hard line here. Reputation is what people think you are when they watch your Instagram stories. Character is who you are in the dark. It is what you do when the door is closed and the easy choice is whispering, "Nobody will ever know." Character is choosing the brutal right choice anyway. You do not just have character, you practice it every single day. Every half-truth you tell, every corner you cut at work, chips away at it. And the damage is entirely invisible until the exact moment your life falls apart, until you are standing in the wreckage of your own choices, realizing you lost your ability to respect yourself. Practice integrity when it actually costs you something. That is the only way it grows. Number 9 is willingness, not motivation, not that temporary hype you feel right now. Willingness is the decision to burn the boats. It is saying, I don't know exactly what this is going to cost me, but I am in all the way. Most people are just interested. They have a plan B safely tucked away in their back pocket for the moment things get difficult. Willingness means when someone asks you what happens if you fail, your answer isn't a backup plan. Your answer is, then I will figure it out, but I am never going back to how I lived before. Willingness is tested at 5 a.m. when the bed is warm and the results are invisible. And finally, number 10, the one that ties the entire blueprint together. Excellence, not perfection. Perfection is a coward's excuse. It is procrastination dressed up in a tuxedo. I can't launch it yet, it isn't perfect. No, you are just terrified. Excellence is different. Excellence is giving your absolute best to whatever is sitting right in front of you. Today, with the tools you have right now. It is refusing to do a single thing at 50%, because the way you do anything is the way you do everything. You have the blueprint, you have all 10, the load-bearing walls of a human life. You know exactly what they are. You know exactly why they matter. You know what happens when you let them rot, and you know what happens when you build them. So there is only one thing left in this room: the decision. We suffer one of 2 pains in this life. 2. Not 3, not 5. 2. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. I want you to feel the massive, crushing weight of that choice right now. Discipline is heavy. I will not lie to you. It is heavy every single morning. It is heavy when the alarm violently goes off and the bed is warm. It is heavy when the gym is freezing and your body is sore. It is heavy when the work is boring and your phone is sitting right there begging you to numb out. Discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. Regret is waking up at 55 years old and realizing you had the talent, you had the opportunity, you had the time, and you threw all 3 in the garbage. Regret is sitting quietly, watching someone 10 years younger than you build the exact life you talked about building for 2 decades. Let me paint the final picture for you. Fast forward to the absolute end of your life. You are lying on your deathbed, and standing around that bed are ghosts. They are the ghosts of your unused potential, the unfulfilled ideas, the talents you never acted on, the visions you never executed, the person you were designed to become. They are standing around your bed. They are angry. They are staring at you with pure, unfiltered disappointment. And they speak to you one last time. They say, "We came to you. You were the only one who could have brought us to life. And you ignored us. You numbed us. You pushed us away until tomorrow. And now we have to go to the grave together." Listen to me. Those ghosts are being created right now, in this exact second. Every single day you choose comfort over growth, you create another ghost. Every day you choose cheap distraction over brutal discipline, another ghost walks into the room. They are accumulating silently, patiently, just waiting for the day when you finally run out of tomorrows. You do not have to let them win. You can start killing them today, one by one, 1% at a time. One kept promise to yourself, one honest conversation, one finished task, one controlled reaction. One morning where you get up before you feel like it, and you completely refuse to let another day pass without getting better. I am not going to let you off the hook. I am not going to say, think about it. Thinking about it is the lie you tell yourself to avoid doing the actual work. Whenever you are ready is a door that stays open forever, and you will walk through it never. The decision is now. Pick the one thing out of the 10 you have been neglecting the hardest. The one that makes your stomach turn. That is your target for today, not tomorrow, today. You are done waiting. You are done pretending you are fine. The fire is still there. Stop watching this. Put the phone down, get up, and go build your life.